Welcome to our channel, where we share the most captivating stories of betrayal and revenge. We've been married for 10 years. Monday night, my wife and I sat at the kitchen table. Sandra, or Sandy as I call her, had made a simple yet comforting meal. The skillet bubbled and sizzled, and she had even added cauliflower cheese, perfectly crispy, just how I like it. She used leftover roast beef from last night and served pickles on the side. To top it off, she brought me a pint of my favorite beer. An occasional strong beer on a work night isn't a big deal, but after knowing her for 14 years, I had a feeling something was coming, and I probably wouldn't like it. Then she spoke. Friday night, I'm going on a date with one of the guys from work. Before you get upset, it's just dinner, nothing more. There's no sex involved, so don't even put that idea in your head. That wasn't what I was expecting. I stayed calm on the outside, but inside, I was seething. I just want some excitement, something for myself. Things had gotten a little routine, she added. So now it was my fault? Things had gotten routine? She didn't seem to think. So when I took her to the Red Lion for dinner and dancing just last week, or on Friday, when we won the pub quiz together, and she was thrilled about the bottle of champagne we brought home. That was us. But now, suddenly, she needed something for herself. Who is this guy? I asked, and when did you two decide this? It's Jonathan, she admitted. He's been asking me for weeks, and I kept turning him down. But tonight, he asked again and promised it was just dinner. No sex. So I said yes. Jonathan, I should have known. She had mentioned him a few times months ago, then stopped. I had even met him once when I dropped by her office after she forgot her lunch. The moment I saw him, I disliked him. Some people just have that effect. We had run into each other in the city a few times, and my opinion hadn't changed. I don't want you to go, but it's your choice, I said. But I'm warning you, I don't trust him. And I don't believe you about the no sex part. The next 2 days were cold in the house. On Wednesday, she came home late. She had a bag from the supermarket, but something was off. I noticed 2 extra handles peeking out, hidden inside another bag. Suspicious. Later, while she cooked, I took a shower. On my way back, I peeked into her closet. Tucked in the far corner was another bag containing a satin blue dress and a new pair of stockings. I couldn't take them out without revealing that I had seen them. Maybe, just maybe, she had bought them for me, but I doubted it. On Thursday, I left the house as usual, but called in sick to work. I had things to do. That night it was freezing. She mentioned that they'd be leaving early on Friday, probably so I wouldn't see her in the new dress. I didn't wait until then. I had to say my piece. Where are you going? I asked. I'm not telling you, she said. You'll show up and ruin it. You need to think about this. I told her. Going on a date with another man, not your husband, and you won't even tell me where you're going? I won't stand for it. If you leave, I'll throw you out on the street. She looked at me, stunned. You wouldn't do that. You love me. I do love you, I admitted. But do you want to test that? She glanced down. And I suppose your company has a morality policy? I continued. I'll find out. You wouldn't, she whispered. I'd be fired. Do you really want to risk it? I finished my speech. If you go out with him, I won't be here when you get back. Sex or no sex. That seemed to rattle her. The tension in bed was unbearable. I left early Friday morning, so I wouldn't have to see her, but I made sure to come home early. Her car was in the driveway. Inside, I stayed quiet. I waited 15 minutes after the shower stopped running, then went upstairs. She was in the bedroom, wearing the satin dress. She looked stunning. So that's why you didn't want me to see you before you left, I said. I picked up the empty stocking package from the bed. So you're not having sex with him, but you're dressing like a high-end escort? I stopped myself from using harsher words. There was still a chance. When we went dancing, I wore a simple skirt and tights, she argued. I didn't have stockings then. Jonathan bought them for me. And you bought a dress for him, I said. Who paid for that? I did, she said quickly, with money from our joint account. Of course you did, I scoffed. No, You didn't pay for it. We did. And since I put most of the money into that account, that means you used my money to dress up for your boyfriend. He's not my boyfriend. Then why are you dating him? I want something different. Something exciting. The doorbell rang. I walked downstairs. She followed. It was Jonathan. The look on his face told me he hadn't expected to see me. I turned to her. If you step out that door, we are over. She hesitated. Jonathan held out his hand. Sandy, it's time to go. That was her moment of decision. She walked past me and out the door. I reached into my pocket, pulled out an envelope, and removed my wedding ring. I placed it inside, sealed it, and held out to her. She didn't take it. Jonathan still had his hand out, so I put the envelope in his hand instead. When you're done having sex, I told him, give it to her. Then I walked to the side of the house, picked up the for sale sign that had been waiting since I called the estate agents, and planted it in the yard. Sandra stood in shock, leaning against the doorframe. I walked back inside, grabbed my backpack and suitcase, and threw them into the car. Turning to her, I said, I'll be back tomorrow to get the rest of my stuff. Make sure he's not here. I pointed at Jonathan. She collapsed, sobbing. Jonathan stepped forward aggressively. You can't talk to her like that. Oh, so cute. I was glad the cameras were recording everything. I stepped forward and drove my knee into his stomach as hard as I could. He doubled over, vomiting. Sandra lay on the floor, crying, looking up at me. Don't mess with me, I said. I'll see you tomorrow. I drove to my parents' house. They were waiting for me. The next day, when I returned, Jonathan was gone. She begged me to stay. I can't, I said. If you're going out with co-workers dressed like that, it shows you don't respect me. It's only a matter of time before you cross the line, and I won't wait for that to happen. I told her I'd help her find a place to live. Since I had already accepted an offer on the house, she would get her half. I packed the rest of my things and left, without looking back. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story is even crazier. Stay tuned.